Hi, welcome to my channel, Life as It Is. Okay, what language shall we learn? Of course, language number one is English, yeah? And you say that, no doubt, yeah, because English is spread all over the world and almost everybody speaks English, yeah? But when a person comes to my center and asks me to learn English, I always ask a question: what kind of English would you like to learn? And of course they say, oh, American variant. Really? And what kind of American variant do you know? What exactly? So, if you want to learn English, what kind of English would you like to learn? What variant of it? Because there are a lot of English variants, yes? British English, American English, Australian English, New Zealand English and Canadian English. Wow! And maybe even Indian English, and every English has its own peculiarities, yeah? For example, in Britain, what variants can you start learning? For example, you're going to live and work or study there. Do you know that there are over 30 different English variants and accents in England? Only in England, you see? Well, let's speak about some common British accents, yes? For example, Cockney, RP, Estuary, Northern Scottish, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, and all these people live in Britain and their state language is English, but English is different, absolutely. And you speak to two persons from different parts of England and or Britain, and first few minutes you don't understand anything because they speak non-English, yeah? And then when you get used a little bit, you understand some words and okay, and then meaning, of course, yeah. Well, and these dialects are very different from each other. For example, London dialect, London, and Liverpool's, yeah, so they're absolutely different. But I like, of course, Royal English, yes? Royal English, I think that it's natural and original English, yeah? Well, for example, when I was in Northern Ireland, it's also a part of Great Britain, yes? And as I speak English, I try to speak English there, but, first minutes, of course, I had to only listening and understanding some peculiarities of this accent, yeah? And they say, for example, bus. You can say bus. What's that? Bus. I speak German and I can realize that, wow, bus in German is bus in English, yeah? Okay, and then, okay, I got it and say, okay, bus. Next, when I was in Wales, it was absolutely for me misunderstanding because I had to get used for many hours to get this accent, and of course I didn't understand many words, but on the whole meaning, yes, it's exactly understandable, but some words I didn't understand absolutely, yeah. For example, they miss W letter, yeah, W, and they say new book. What's that? New book. I know that it is new book, but they say new book. And moreover, they pronounce the sound R or for example, rabbit. Yeah, they don't say rabbit. They say rabbit. But it was easy for me to understand because in Russian we also has got the same sound. R. It wasn't absolutely different for me, and I can understand that they pronounce this sound. They pronounce this letter as Russian R. Yeah, rabbit, rabbit. That's right. Okay, if somebody asks me, will you teach me American English? Oh my dear, what kind of American English would you like to have? Okay, and I show them the map. I usually use the world map. In every office I've got a world map because it's obligatory. If you travel a lot, of course, you have to know all countries and where are they situated. What for do I need to know the location of this country? It is out of the question. Of course, it's obligatory. And sometimes I'm kidding. I answer to this question, say, oh, okay. And if you've got an airplane crash and your plane crashed somewhere in some places and some water and you are in isolated island, what should you do in this case? You don't know the latitude, the location of this island, but if you look before you travel at the map and you can see the country, oh, this country, yeah, I'm going to this way, or what climate is there, where is it situated, and so on. So of course you should be absolutely well-educated person when you go to travel. Okay, come back to the American English. You know that there are 50 states in the USA and every state has got its own dialect. Yeah. I remember an American guy, Nathan, was from Louisiana and he worked for my company. And first, I didn't understand him. So, my Jesus, how come? Oh, so horrible. But then, of course, I got used to his speech and everything was okay. But when a lady, American lady from California, came to my company to work, and she spoke to Nathan and she said, Galina, how do you understand him? I can't. I'm American. I can't. And you? How can? I don't know. I say, oh, okay. By the way, her name was Elizabeth. I say, Elizabeth, yeah, I get used to it. Yeah. Another guy from Colorado came to my company to work. His name is Nicole. And he said that, oh, Galina, you speak so fast. In Colorado, people don't speak in this way. They speak slowly. Really? Okay. But, well, actually, his pronunciation was pretty good and no different dialect. But really, he spoke absolutely slowly and distinctly. Well, it was easy to understand him. Okay, so when you speak about American English, well, remember that American English means 50 dialects, approximately 50 dialects. Okay, then you can ask me, what about Canadian English? Also, Canadians can speak English, but what kind of English? Absolutely different English, yeah. It is called Canadian English. Once a Canadian guy, Justin, worked for my company and he pronounced some words in French way. There is a French influence on English there because there are two state languages in Canada, French and English. Depends on the part of Canada, and yeah. So you see, his English was also different. There are some dialects also in Canada. Some guys are going to Australia and they say, oh, I want to learn English. And I say, of course, we should learn Australian English. Well, actually, Australian English is also different. Also, yeah. Uh, a guy from Australia, Alexander, worked for my company, and I didn't understand him at first, but then, of course, I got used to it, and it was absolutely okay to speak to him, and my clients understood him, and okay, but his English was different from British, from American, from Canadian. Oh, absolutely different from others. It's specific English, Australian English, yeah? Well, I've noticed that Australian shorten words. For example, they say kanga. What? What kangaroo? Kangaroo, yeah? Or they say singer. What's that, singer? Sandwich. Oh my Jesus. Well, and of course you have to get to understand it, yeah? I think that it's a special language. They shorten a lot of words. Oof. I've downloaded you with languages, with different English. Okay, and you're puzzled a little bit, I guess, yeah? Some person asks me to teach German. And what do you think? German is the only one variant? Of course, no. Also, Germany is divided into several Erden, yeah, like separate land, as they say, yeah. Okay, and Germany is a little country in comparison to Russia or America, of course, yeah. But this country hasn't got the only one German variant all over their country. For example, they've got Hochdeutsch. It means like Royal English, yeah, like pure German language, yeah. Or they've got Bavarian variant. They've got, okay, in Berlin they speak in different German. They in Westphalian territory they speak different German in comparison to eastern part of Germany. So I remember that when I was in Germany, okay, I lived in a host family, and it was Westphalian territory. Yeah, I understood them pretty good. Yeah, but once they say, "Oh, Galina, we are expecting our friend from Köln." Köln. Okay, well, pretty good, okay, but they say, haha, you don't understand him, Absol. Why? Because he's got Köln dialect, and his German is absolutely different. Sometimes we don't understand him. Really? How come? Köln is not far from Ferl, the city where I live. They say, okay, we'll see. And of course, it was difficult to understand him because his German was absolutely different, yeah. A person, for example, a person wants to learn Chinese. That's a good question, yeah. China is also a little bit big territory, yeah. And there is no the only Chinese language. Also, every province, the China is divided into several provinces. Every province has got its own dialect, and moreover, the northern Chinese and southern Chinese don't understand each other absolutely. How come? But it is. I remember in Krasnoyarsk city where I live, there is a Chinatown, as we say, like Chinese market. And I came to the souvenir department and looked around, and another Chinese came to this department. They start to speak in Chinese with the seller, and in a few minutes they started speaking Russian. Being a linguist, I was very interested in it, and when they left, I asked this seller, why did you speak Russian? You're Chinese. And he said that these Chinese are from northern part and we're from southern part of China, and we don't understand each other. So their common language was Russian. Super. Okay, so you see, in China also there are some troubles to learn Chinese, and of course we don't know what kind of Chinese do you need to learn. It depends on what part of China are you going to visit, but sometimes it's complicated. You are not going only, if you travel a lot, and you are not going only to one part of China, for example, yeah, you want to go around this country, but there is no one unique language, the only language for the whole country. There are several dialects. Another situation was when I visited Hainan. It's an island, Chinese island, touristic area, and it's a tourist area, and a Chinese teacher, and I asked him to teach me some phrases, Chinese phrases, to use them when I come to Hainan. And I spoke some, I said them several phrases which I have learned. I understood that locals don't understand me. Their language, the same words were pronounced in a different way, with different sounds, with different phonetics. And I understood that maybe I sounded so funny and said some rubbish which I absolutely don't know what I spoke about. Okay, so you could say, what about Italian one? Italy is absolutely small country in this shape of high boots, yeah. And it's exactly, there should be the only one language, Italian. So sorry, no. So Italian is also different in different country, in different part of Italy. For example, we'll choose Rome, Italian, Venice, Italian, Neapolitan, Italian. What kind of Italian would you like to speak? So you see, there are many dialects, and of course, when you go to Sicily, it's absolutely different Italian there. We are so puzzled. What kind of language should we learn? Because no one variant. And if you want to learn English, we should choose what kind of English, where should I go, and so on. Or different languages, yes? And I guess the same situation with different languages which we haven't taken today. But I should say that there is only one language, as I guess, in the world that where there are no dialects, different dialects, and this language is Russian. Okay, in spite of the vast territory of Russia, in Russia people speak the only one Russian language, no dialects. Okay, maybe some of you say, maybe some of Russians objected now, say, no, there are some dialects. But these dialects are not absolutely different from each other. For example, if you speak Russian, you are understandable everywhere, in every part of Russia. In Moscow, they акают. In the Urals, they окают. In Moscow, they say хорошая. In the Ural, they say хорошая. The same. A or sound. A or it doesn't matter absolutely. It sounds the same. Хорошая. Хорошая. You can understand. Or I should say, as I live in Siberia, I should say that in Siberia, Russian language is pure, absolutely good variant, and clean language. I think it's because of the history. You know that Siberia used to be famous as place for rebellions, political rebellions, and many noble people were sent to Siberia as settlers in prison, but they went in prison here. They lived in separate villages, and okay, and their wives also followed them, and their wives teach locals Russian. They worked in local schools, and it was like their charity for locals, and many people speak pure Russian here. So in this way, I should say that Russian is the only language that has no dialects, different dialects. You will be understandable in every part of Russia. That's interesting to learn Russian. Well, tell me please, why it happens that in small countries, Italy, England and Germany, there are many dialects. Why it happens? I think that it because of the history. These small countries, okay, in every country except Russia, people didn't travel around their countries, and there is no integration, and that's why they live in only their community and speak only this dialect, this language, and no influence from different dialects to this one, and so they live in their own land, part of this country, and don't travel and don't know different dialects, yeah. But in Russia, people travel a lot around the country. Why? Of course, again, it's history. In the USSR, you know that Russians didn't have the opportunity to go abroad, leave the country, and that's why they travel around Russia. But Russia is a big territory, you see. There are a lot of places where to go, and they are very interesting places also, yeah. And because of this traveling and integration, Russian language was brushed up, and in this situation, the only one language we've got. Sometimes we can find some positive moments in some negative situation, yeah. Well, we were locked down, but people spoke only one language and speak right now. Now you know that there are a lot of dialects in different languages, and what kind of dialect should you learn. And of course, I recommend you to learn Russian, because it's a unique language, a little bit complicated at first sight, but nevertheless you don't need to think about the dialects. You learn as it is, and in every city, in every part of Russia, you understand everybody, and you will be understood. Okay, learn Russian and stay with me. Subscribe to my channel, and if you like it, click like. Bye bye. See you next video.